Why do you think so many hardworking people remain poor all through their lives?
When somebody is hardworking, ideally the person is not supposed to be poor. Yeah.
Yes.
So if somebody is hardworking and the person is poor, it means you're actually working hard but in the wrong direction. I've come to realize that success is not how much money you have in your bank account. Savings on its own has its own downside.
What do you think young people should start focusing on now if they really want a strong future?
I will tell young children, young people, please eschew laziness. Life is not all about seeking pleasures. Once these things are combined, success becomes very easy, especially when you combine it with focus.
What was that thing that helped you to not give
If
up?
you have not accepted it as you failed, failure is just a stepping stone to another trial. Each time I tried something and it did not work, I did not fail to go with the lessons. If not, how would somebody that started life as an Okada rider now become somebody who is trying to be the governor of a state? If I started this when I was 25 years old, by now maybe I'll be talking about being the president of Nigeria.
We'll get there, we'll get there. Money or happiness?
Happiness,
Talent or hard work?
talent,
Education or experience?
education,
Success or peace of mind? One belief that you had while growing up has completely changed and turned out wrong.
my perception about beauty, inner beauty is more than the beauty you see on the outward.
If you had to teach young people just two money principles, what would those principles be?
Um, Number one,
Everyone wants success, but few people knows what it really takes. Today, I'm sitting down with someone who has lived through it all, from hustling to survive to landing a role in one of the biggest oil and gas companies in the world, Shell Petroleum Development Company. He has lived from this stage to starting up his own business and now stepping into politics. My guest today, Sir Tele Bertram Ikuru, has lived through it all, and he's going to be sharing some raw lessons that most people never hear. Some of these might change the way you see life forever. Thank you so much for being my very first guest on the show. I couldn't think of anyone else better to start this journey with. So you've walked through different phases of life, and today you'll be talking about the lessons, the struggles, the wisdoms you've picked up along the line. So let's start from the very first beginning. Take us back to your first hustle. What was life like then?
thank you very much for having me. I'm actually very delighted to be your guest, and then not just your guest, your very first guest. Life at the very beginning was almost like the way every other person saw it. I had to struggle. I was kind of abandoned midway, so I had to put up on my own. I was fending for myself, and to that extent, I had to sojourn to a faraway place, Lagos State. It was tough because I slept in the streets, I walked in the streets, I had to labor, I labored hard, you know.
That must have been
So,
tough.
so that was life was really tough. But it's only that I remained my focus. I had my focus, and then all through the turbulence, all through what life threw at me, I had that hope that it would be well, it would be nice. So I kept doing the right thing. Here we are.
Can you tell us some of those things, some of those actual hustles
Okay.
you went into?
Well, it's interesting. I will tell you. I actually started with trading, how to sell food. I did that until a time when I met a very close friend, in blessed memory, because he passed on just last year. And then we teamed up together. I partnered with him. I found out that he was very, very nice as a person. He had a, a catering outfit called Las Vegas. That was at Ejibo. You know, the first catering outfit I had was the Dreams Catering Services. which started when I was in Ijesha in Lagos. And then we were buying foodstuff, cook, and sell to the public. And then from there, we saw that life wasn't really, we were not really meeting up. At some point, there was a downside of that business. So we had to move from that business to doing Okada business. I'm doing, you know, we had a bike, riding motorbike for pay. And that took quite some time, almost up to 2 years. We were doing it with this my bosom friend. You know, we'll do it, and how we're doing it, we're doing it night ride. Yeah, I would take one night, and then the other night he would take, and then we're doing it turn after turn and riding. If you go out in the night to hustle, you toil throughout the night and then come back the next morning. So from the business of riding bike, commercially, we elevated again into selling gas. So we had a a business name which we developed from my name. I am Tele Betramikuru. So from my first name Tele, we took TLE, Tel. And then from this my bosom friend, blessed memory, Uche, we took UCH. So the names combined became Teluch. So we had Teluch gas cells, where we registered and we started selling gas at Ijanejigbo also. We actually had a very big dream of making it a lucrative business, making it something that, yeah, from the various outlets would be making reasonable income to set up like a company. Yeah, that was how we we grew the business until there was still yet this call that I had to return home to River State.
Sorry, can you give us a time frame when
Okay.
all these things were happening? Just give us the years.
Okay, so this one we actually started with 1991, between 1991 and 1995. Those were the period of our toil.
Okay.
So our life moved on very, very, very smoothly. As a matter of fact, this is somebody we stayed together as friends for over 20 years before he passed on. And then between 1991 and then 1993, we're doing all of these businesses, riding bikes, selling food, and then by 1993, when we had the Abiola crisis, yeah, when Abiola won the election that was annulled in June 12th, yeah, so there was real turbulence in Lagos. There was real turbulence, which made us to yet invent another business for survival. And what was that business? Coming to the east to buy fuel, buy petrol, buy diesel in drums and then take them to the west, to Lagos to sell. But on the third trip, yeah, we ran out of luck because the vehicle we used was impounded at Onitsha, Okpoko police station. So all the things we labored for all the other trips and everything just went because the vehicle was impounded and we couldn't even go to the police to claim our good because it was more like dealing on something that wasn't approved. It was a means of bringing back life to people in Lagos and also a means of survival because in Lagos, premium motor spirit was like pure gold after that period, within that period of Abiola crisis in Lagos. For those who lived that period, 1993, can testify to what I'm saying. So our fortunes just went off, so to speak, in flames, and then we had to start from square one. Start from square one.
Wow, that is quite an interesting tale. So you've been an employee at Shell
Yeah,
and you've owned your own businesses.
yeah.
So what would you say it's like working for someone and running your own business? What do you think are those differences that you'd like young entrepreneurs today to know about?
Well, you see, there are two different kettles of fish. I must say, you cannot start off life immediately and then maybe you want to work for yourself. It's really difficult, especially in this part of the world where getting capital, is not easy to come by. and then also experience. And then the business climate in Nigeria, I must say, is not very friendly. So if you want to start up, by the time you think of how to get enough capital to invest, so one necessarily have to start somewhere, working for somebody, and that is exactly what I did. I started my career working for HPDC um, in 2001, working for HPDC. That was after I came back and I completed my education, and then I got employment with Shell, as a contract staff for doing the inspection. So I stayed for some years, but because I had this very nice experience of having labored or toiled for myself for many years, about 4 to 5 years in Lagos. So that knack to create something was still within me. That zeal to be an entrepreneur was still within me, but I did not let that fire quench. You know. So I knew that the period of working with SPDC would actually give me something, a seed to sow, so to speak. So I must say to every young person who is growing up, if you ever feel that you want to just make a living, then you can go ahead, work for any organization, any company you are lucky to be employed to work with. But if you want to be able to reach out, if you want to be able to live well and live, what I say, big, then the idea should be to think of, to dream of, to have your own business. Yeah, I think there is nothing compared to having to being an entrepreneur. Yeah, because yes, it might be rough at some point in time, but definitely when the thing goes fine, you have all the things to benefit. About almost 15 years into my work with SPDC, I started my company, which is Tivrage Limited. The company, which I registered in 2015, it started 1st of October 2016 in Rumasi, Port Harcourt. And what was I into? I was into um, land transport, both light fleet and heavy fleet. Now, prior to starting the Tivrage Limited, I actually started doing something, preparatory to this business, which is a big one, I would say, and that was preparing ice blocks. Preparing ice blocks for sale. I procured an ice block making machine from Benin, from Austin Lars, was a popular brand then. And then the other one was also the same bike which I did in Lagos, which they call Okada. I actually started it this time around, not riding bike by myself, but having people who rode the bikes and then made returns. So I started with 2 bikes and then I got to 10. People every weekend they will make account and all of those things. So this petty businesses, the bike business, the ice block business were what I actually started putting my hands on, preparatory to when I registered my company, Tivage Limited, with Corporate Affairs Commission, and then it got started 1st October 2016.
Hmm, that's interesting. So, is there is there any mistake you might have made, just one, in your career or any of these businesses that taught you a big lesson?
Uh, for me, I actually have not seen what I would call a big mistake, so to speak. I've really have not seen. I've actually seen it as life turning me around, getting me exposed to different pace people, different aspects of life, and all of those things. Because from my background, I'm an Anglican, and that's why I'm a Knight of St. Christopher. From my background, we are prayerful. I've been prayerful. From my background, I've been disciplined, doing the right things. But would I say because I actually I came from a polygamous background. I came from a polygamous background, and would I say those were some of the factors that made life a little bit rough for me. But right now, when I look back, I see all of those things as blessing in disguise, because they afforded me opportunity to mingle quite a lot quite a lot. I had friends from the Calabar area, Akwa Ibom, Igbo, and Yoruba, and that's why I could speak so many Nigerian dialects today.
Languages.
Yeah. So I can see at the point I was passing through some of those things, they were really painful. Yeah, they were really painful because sometimes you want to achieve a result, and then the result you want to achieve seems to be like a mirage, seems to look very, very elusive. You are not able to get at where you want to get to. But I later discovered that each time I failed, or each time I don't reach a desired goal, a desired destination, it's actually a stepping stone to another level of activity in my life.
So, with the experiences you've had, how would you describe success from when you were younger till this time? What are those slight changes that might be in the picture?
Thank you very much. I think this is really, really the crux of the matter because at a younger age, the idea about success for me then was hit the jackpot, hit it, make it big. Yeah. But now I've come to realize that success is not how much money you have in your bank account. Success is not about making anything big as it were. Some people were using. Success is all about your peace of mind. How are you able to live peacefully within the community you find yourself, starting from your family, maybe your wife, if you're married, your wife, your children, your nuclear family, and people around you. And then how are you able to meet up your daily demands? And then on the bigger picture, how are you able to satisfy the need of the society? Because business, if you ask me, I will tell you, business is all about providing the demands of the society and getting rewards for it. Yeah. And what does the society want? The society we live in, they need your goods, they need your services. What are you able to bring to the marketplace? Those things you're able to bring to the marketplace in terms of goods, maybe physical things that people can hold, or in terms of services, yeah, those are the things from which you have your rewards. And then why success is not like making money, that there are some people that may bring wrong goods or services or defraud and make money, and they think that that is success,
Yes.
which is fallacy. You're not deceiving yourself, it's not success. You see, your ability to give to the society or to your clients, so to speak, what they want, and then their demands, their needs are met, is the real success. So for me right now, I can turn my chest and say I'm one of the successful men you can see around. Not because I have so much fortune or I have money in the bank, or no, because I have touched life, I've impacted my generation, my society positively, and I just believe that this is just the beginning of it because I still have many more years to go and to keep impacting life. God keeping me alive.
That's a very wonderful and different definition or explanation of success. And
Thank you very
I'm
much.
loving this because I get to see what success is from someone with much more experience than I do.
I think also, if I may also add, I think success also means, aside from getting encomiums for the good things you do for the society and all of those things, aside from people getting goods and services from you, depending on which line of endeavor you are into, and then you making your money or making fortune out of it. The definition of success actually improves with age. Yeah, at a younger age, you see success as having so much money to spend, and then to actually come home and brag to your people that, look, I have made so much fortune. This is my big house. This is my big car, and all of that. So those are just the rudimentary part of success. They are not. They don't actually count as success. What really counts as success: peace of mind, good health, your acceptability in the society, your impact, your generation, all of those things, so that you come home, you sleep, you feel happy within your body, your spirit, body, soul, they are together, your members are together, you feel happy. That is success. So to that extent, yes, I would say God has been with us and I've been successful. And I want to say to every young person growing up, please, please redefine success for yourself. Then when it comes, you'll be happy. Yeah, success should not be about the car you have in your garage or the money you have in your bank account. Success is beyond that. Success is how has your society accepted you? How well have you impacted your society, your generation? What have you brought to the table? Yeah, for your people. You know, so please get it right. Success is a whole lot of things put together.
Yes,
Thank you.
get it right. So there is a popular opinion: money cannot buy you happiness. I mean, there are two school of thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Some believe that money can buy you happiness, and the others believe that money cannot buy you happiness. So, what do you have to say about this?
Um, let's put it this way. The Bible says money answered all things. What it means is that if you have a wife, you have children, you have dependents, you need to pay your bills, you need money to do all of that. Your
Yes.
health is failing, you want to go to the hospital, you need money to pay your bills and all of those things. But that is the extent to which money can go. Yeah. If you have money to pay all the bills, and the means by which you had the money was dubious means, of course, your mind will be beaten. So work hard, very, very acceptable. Aim high, be ambitious, don't be lazy. Get the money, but get the money for good purposes. If the aim of getting money is to brag to the world, the people that have money, then the aim is actually not in line with what it should be. So if you have money and you use money to glorify God and to serve humanity, then you're quite in order. So yes, the answer is yes, money is good to the extent that it will meet up with your needs, it will help you to meet up with your needs, and then to fulfill some other obligations around you. Yeah. But whereby you have to have money through dubious means, that is a no. Yeah. You must work hard to get money, not to get it through any dubious means.
So, yes, money can buy you happiness, but it depends on your definition of happiness.
Yes, it depends on your and it also goes to also show the kind of person you are, because there are a lot of people in Nigeria today. They have stupendous wealth, they have money, but the generality of the public know that the wealth they have did not come from a genuine means. Yeah, and so they have a tag going with them that this is a bad wealthy man or this is a bad man, notwithstanding the money he has. So to that kind of person, they don't go with good name. And of course, the Bible also says that good name is better than silver and gold. What it means is that rather than have money through dubious means, or rather than have money and you're not able to be useful to the society, your brothers, your sisters, your family, and your generation at large, it is better to just be at a low level and then live your life just like that, rather than to burn off all your energy in quest for money and then to make money through dubious means, and then you have your conscience seared because you're not feeling you've done so much evil that it doesn't penetrate, you don't feel it. So that is it.
Okay. This one is this one is a question that I personally would learn from. And so, why do you think so many hardworking people remain poor all through their lives?
Well, that question, I would say, let me start with the question. The question is a bit for the when somebody is hardworking, ideally the person is not supposed to be poor. Yeah.
Yes.
So if somebody is hardworking and the person is poor, it means there's what we call in physics, say work done equal to zero. You're actually working hard, but in the wrong direction. Yeah. So and there is a difference, there's what a popular norm now they say work smart. There's a difference between working hard and working smart.
Yes.
Now, if you work hard, which is acceptable, fine, you work hard, but you will have to work hard with a particular goal in mind. If you work hard without having a goal, it means that it's like somebody that set up on the journey, for instance. You pack your bags, you want to travel, you put some money in your pocket. You don't have a particular way you're going to. You can spend 2, 3 days going around, but you will not get to any destination because you don't have a goal. But if you
Yes.
set up in the morning and say, I want to go to Lagos, so the next thing you ask yourself, how do I get to Lagos? Do I go to Lagos by flight or by road or on sea? Then you define, okay, I'll go by flight. Then you have to ask yourself, how much is it by flight from Port Harcourt to Lagos? Then you find your way to Magwa, where the airport is. After having paid for your ticket, you board the flight. The next 45 or 1 hour, you see yourself in Lagos. But whereby you don't even know where you're going to, you just say you want to travel. In the next 1, 2, 3 years, you will not get anywhere. So maybe that fits the definition of people who work hard but they never get
It's
successful.
successful.
Because your hard work is not tailored towards a direction. Your hard work does not have a goal in mind. So you're just beating about the bush, so to speak. So, but ideally, it's good to work hard, but you must work hard with a purpose. You must work hard following a direction, having a goal where your target is. And if you do that, definitely you must be successful.
Yes, that's a smart one. But can you maybe give us an instance of someone that works hard and someone that works smart in a real life experience?
Okay, let me give you a typical one that would everybody can just
Relates to.
relate with very easily. If you go to where Hausa people load yam into the trucks,
Yes.
you see that a big trucks, Hausa people, those who load, they can be up to about 4 or 5 or 6. They will form themselves into chain. One person in the truck, one person down outside the truck, the other person in between, the other person where the yam is heaped.
Mm.
Then they throw the yam. This one catches, throws to the next person. This one
Yes.
catches, throws to the next person, and they line within hours. The whole truck is loaded with yam. So those travel time for let's say 5 of them is what they've cancelled out. So that is working smart. So the other people may come to say, okay, no, we don't want to throw. Let's be working. And they working. You find out that the time this group of people who are working, so who are throwing one to the other, we used to load one truck will be quite lesser than the
And the
time
other,
the other same of even if let's say they are five in number, those who are throwing will take lesser time, you know. So that is working smart. And the common man's listen. You could sit down in your desk and deliver a job in US, you could sit down in your desk and deliver a job anywhere, you know. That's part of working smart. And then working smart also is if you look at division of labor, or the reason why people create companies, build partnerships is part of working smart. As a person, you cannot do everything on your own. There's no way you can do everything on your own. So, how do you leverage on the expertise of others in delivering whatever you want to get? You see, when you are able to sit down wherever you are, design a process and see how to cut down wastages in that process. You design a system that jobs are delivered, services are delivered with little or no wastage at all. That is working smart. But when you don't have a broad mind, a broad thinking out of the box, and then you encumber yourself with so many drawbacks, so many loads, you find out that your output at the end of the day will be very poor, because working smart is all about how do I apply a little effort here and get very
bigger
bigger
results.
results. So that is what it is. So
That's a
it can be
wonderful.
applied in a whole lot of places. When you think smart, you can actually work smart, and when you work smart, the result will be big. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you had to teach young people just two money principles, just two, what would those principles be?
Number one, you cannot build a fortune without savings. Wherever you are, you must learn to save. Money attracts money, and more money attracts more
More
money.
money.
So when young people have the culture of saving, that is very key. Then the other one is we must have a a modest appetite, maybe earning say 2 million naira a month. If your appetite is above that 2 million naira a month, you find out that you cannot progress. Progress in life is simply knowing how much you are able to produce and making sure that your lifestyle, your life expenditure is within that range of your production and that you have surplus. Let me give you a typical explanation. Two people working together in the same company. This other one is working at a higher level, maybe as a manager or a supervisor. This other one is, let's say, a foreman. You're just, or your job level is far low. This one is earning 50,000 naira a month. The other one is earning 200,000 naira a month. The one earning 50,000 naira a month is able to save at least 10,000 naira from what he earns every month. The one earning 200,000 naira, because of lifestyle, always goes to look for money to borrow to add to. You find out that in a period of 5 to 10 years, the one earning 50,000 naira a month would have grown and overtaken the other person. So, if I must say, number one, develop a culture of saving. Number two, develop a culture of modesty. You know, and that is one thing I must say people of this generation must learn from the man, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi. Peter Obi is one man that shows most of these things I'm talking about. He's hardworking, he's cerebral, very intelligent, and then he's very modest. Very modest. Yeah. So once these things are combined, success becomes very easy, especially when you combine it with focus, with having the goal in mind. So success becomes just a click away. Yeah. It may linger, but definitely it must come. Because whatever you're making, you're consistent in making it, and you're making sure that you don't overspend, you don't overspend your budget, and it definitely will success is for you.
Okay, so I have two questions from what you just said. So basically, you've listed these two core principles
Yeah.
as savings and modesty.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to ask, by modesty in this concept, do you mean living below your means?
Well, modesty is not living below your means. What I'm trying to say is that you can bring down your appetite. Yeah. Okay. Take a typical case for me, for instance. I work in a company that had a lot of things available to people to play with. There was the cooperative there, was share staff. You could go in, work in there, and you get a brand new car. And then you pay little by little for your salary. You travel abroad and a lot of incentives here and there. So long as you remain a staff, a lot of these things were available. But all of those were at your own expense. So you see that people were living into their future.
Yes.
Yeah, they could not. But I tried to make myself not look those directions. That was why in my years working there, what was paramount is that how do I develop myself? How do I develop my wife and my family? I was able to save. My wife went back to school. Today I have a wife who's a medical doctor. Yeah, courtesy of our modesty. Yeah. Today I have a company, a limited liability company, Tivrage Limited, courtesy of my modesty and savings. So not that what I was making my earnings were much, but for every 1 naira I had to tell myself how much would I need to spend and how much would I need to save, because I knew that, of course, if you're not careful, if you're not modest in your expenditure, even if you made 1 million naira daily, you can actually exhaust it, because the things to spend money on, they're always there.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because this brings us to the equation of human needs and human wants. While a man's needs are those particular things that you need to survive, you need to live and grow. A man's wants are insatiable. Yeah, and if you're not able to guide your appetite, you see that you can even go to the extent of buying things that you don't even
Need.
need, they are not needful, and then at the end of the day, you have wastage here and there. And when you look back, no savings to fall back on.
So if I get you correctly, I think you're saying saving and modesty goes hand in
Hand in hand.
hand.
Sure, sure, sure.
So, but there's this idea that financial gurus preach to us, that you cannot get rich by saving, but by saving you can you can pave the way to get rich. Do you think that's true?
Well, the thing is, savings on its own has its own downside. Saving on its own has its own downside. And if you want to go into savings, that is a topic on its own. You need to know what are you saving and how are you saving.
Yes.
Yeah, because the downside of saving is that if you are saving in an economy where the inflation trend is higher. You find out that you save 100,000 naira today, in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months, that 100,000 naira, if you bring it out, it cannot afford you what it should have afforded you as at the time you saved.
Yes.
So you find out that that savings is actually useless in an economy like in ours now, Nigerian economy. So in that case, what do? You don't save in cash. You can save in properties. There are properties that the value keep going higher. Yeah. And then another one which is very key is investment. Part of the reason why people should save is that if you save to make an investment, it yields. Because if you invest and you invest rightly, yeah, if you really invest in an area which you've studied, you've undertaken some study in that area, and you save money to be able to invest, you find out that you have created a pathway to being an entrepreneur. Yeah. So you will now become, rather than working to earn salary, you're working, you're paying people, and then the more people you get into your employ, yeah, the more you're making for yourself as a person. So, and not only are you making money for yourself, you're also empowering people, you're also giving people means of livelihood. So saving is the bedrock
Yes.
of financial growth and stability and success financially. And that savings cannot be done, just like I said, without being modest. Yeah. And if you look at the life of of uh, of Mr. Peter B, you will see what I'm talking about. Yeah. Although there are some people that will get wealthy because the kind of people we say we were born with silver spoon or golden spoon. Yeah. You came and the foundation has already been laid for you. And then with a little financial acumen, and business acumen, you know how to turn money around, you know how to, you just grow from there. We have people like Dangote in Nigeria who is doing quite well. But I tell you, if no matter what Dangote inherited, or no matter how he was opportune to have had his money to start with. If he did not have this financial acumen and this business principle, and if he was not a modest and disciplined person, the wealth he had so many years ago would have been gone by now. So, however you look at it, especially to young people, you have to know that if you don't manage your appetite, you are definitely going to to drown yourself. You are going to definitely going to get lost. You know, you know, business wise or financially. So your appetite is key. Your appetite is key. And then this kind of thing is also good that we teach our children because financial discipline and financial management is something that we should start quite early in life. So it becomes a
Yes.
lifestyle.
So throughout your experiences, from where you started to where you're currently at, would you say you experienced any particular setback or failure, and how did you bounce back from it? Or was there a point where you ever thought of giving up? And if there was a point, if there was something like that, what was that thing that helped you to not give up, to be resilient, to keep pushing?
I think one of the key things I would really attribute my success level to is my faith in God. You see, I'm one person that I don't think that God is selfish. Sorry, I don't think that God is a biased God. I believe that God is faithful to every creature He has brought to this planet. And then the mind of God is that everyone should prosper. Everyone should prosper, not just financially, but in our health, in our relationships, and everything. God wishes that we all prosper. So God is not biased. Now, I know that for one to be successful, yeah, hard work, resilience, focus, and all of these things, they all have to meet opportunity. It's one thing to work hard, and when you work hard and things don't work, it doesn't mean that they won't work. It only means that your hard work has not met the right opportunity to make it blossom.
Yes.
So as a person, that is why the amount of knowledge we have as human beings is quite helpful because if you don't know enough, you actually suffer a big setback. But I've been privileged, to learn, to be tutored by quite good people, right from my parents, my older siblings, the institution I've gone to, then my 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 spiritual background and all of those things. I've been so experienced to know that look, nothing happens for nothing. Anything, if you plant something and it doesn't grow, it's either the seedling was bad or the soil was polluted. So something would have caused it. So in that case, what do you do? It's either you change your seedlings or you change or investigate. So when you do that and with a positive mindset, you find out that you always, it's just a matter of time. Each time I tried something and it did not work, I did not fail to go with the lessons. And like I said, when we started discussion, I told you that everything that looked like failure was a stepping stone to a bigger dream, a bigger plan. If not, how would somebody that started life as an Okada rider, a bike rider, commercial bike rider, somebody that started life as a food vendor, you know, now become somebody who is trying to be the governor of a state? It shows you that, look, the life has been from one level of success to the other level of success. Yeah, I'm not a man of affluence. I don't have much money, but I am at peace with myself. Because, like I said, success in life, being wealthy is not about how much money you have in your bank account. It's about how much peace you have internally within your members, your body, spirit, and soul, and how well you've impacted your society, starting from your immediate family. So, because of my kind of person, I have not seen anything that has happened like failure. Because every failure, like I said, has been a stepping stone to a greater height. And that is what I want people to look at it, because in the actual sense, there is nothing like failure. Failure can be described as any point in time that you give up. If, for instance, you go to school to write exam and you fail, it is not that you fail, it's just that you've not met up to the requirements, but you're able to write the exam. So if you try again and you try again and again, then success will wait for you, because it's about your resilience. Taking a particular case, our late former president Buhari, he wanted to be president of Nigeria after he was the head of state. He tried it the first time, it didn't work. He tried it the second time, it didn't work. He could have announced himself a failure. Oh, I wanted to be Nigeria's president, I failed, I'm a failure, I could not be. But no, he kept on. On the fourth time, he became Nigeria's president. So failure can only be attributed to anybody if you have actually accepted it that you failed. If you have not accepted it as you failed, failure is just a stepping stone to another trial.
Wow, that's a wonderful explanation of what failure is. And I am really blown away by, this perspective of failure. I now see failure differently.
Yeah.
I
Failure
mean, you just said that there's nothing like failure,
at all.
and that is a really wonderful insight.
Yeah.
So, if you could talk to yourself, if you could talk to your 25-year-old self today,
Yeah.
given the experiences you have now, if you could advise your 25-year-old self, what's that one strong advice you would tell yourself 25 years ago?
Um 25 years ago, well,
Or dating back to when you were
to
25?
yes, I like, you see, there were some things I know that if I knew then, they would really have helped me better. What I've learned today is that the power of leveraging is one thing that one cannot ignore. So if I had my way to walk myself back to 25, to when I was 25 years old, I would have used it more. And like I told you, the name of my company is Tivrage Limited. Tivrage is coming from the word leverage. Yeah.
Mm.
Now, when you leverage on existing structures, maybe your father was a farmer, so you got some farm implements from him to becoming your own farmer, or You had a brother and an uncle that was a golfer. I want to be a golfer. You collect some golf kits from him to start your golfing career. You're leveraging on those structures, leveraging on your uncle, on your father, or as it were. But when you leverage, you are actually saying, hey, you have this stuff, I have this stuff. How may we be helpers to each other such that I realize my goal and you also realize your goal? That's what leverage stands for. So in leverage, you actually go to the word leverage and take away the L there and put the T from the word tele, which is my name. And then when you leverage, and that's why our insignia, our logo is a spiral ladder that goes up. When we leverage with you, it means that both of us can meet ourselves at the top. So what I've come to learn in this my age now is the power of leveraging on structures, which is one of the things I'm deploying in my political career. Yeah. And it's one of the things that is a boost to me politically because I came into politics as a nobody. I came into politics, some people describe me as a neophyte, somebody who did not have any experience politically. But I've been able to look at, search around and see what are the political structures around, who are the persons I could turn to, and then while helping them achieve their political goals, I also gain from them. That's what I've been doing. So if I started this when I was 25 years old, by now maybe I'll be talking about being the president of Nigeria.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Amen.
So basically, you're saying if there's something you would do differently when you were 25, it would basically be leveraging.
Leveraging on
That's a
on
wonderful
structures.
one. So, what do you think young people should start focusing on now if they really want a strong future?
Well, young people, for me, I may not be addressing them directly, rather I'll be addressing their parents. So first and foremost, I will address the parents. Say, look, it is your duty for every child you bring to life through childbirth. It's your duty and responsibility to make sure that that child is properly guided, that child is properly tutored and directed to do right. Now, coming back, assuming that yes, all the parents, all the guardians do their bits. Now, to young people, I must tell you, life is not all about seeking pleasures. It is when young people indulge, seek pleasures, and all of those things that they fall into the traps that they are not supposed to fall into. Life is also not about throwing your hands in the air that, oh, I don't have parents, I don't have that. If I had this, if I had that, I would have made it. No. At every point in time, at every place you find yourself, there is always something for you to hold on to leverage on. And that is why every young person should learn one thing, how to think and think out of the box. If you have a challenge, some people see challenges as showstoppers. You have a challenge, oh, I cannot cross this. No, you have a river, you don't have a boat. Can't you think of how to reinvent something that can take you across that river? Or can't you think of, okay, going by the river bank to a point in that river, that stretch of river, where the river is narrowest, and then maybe you can try to swim across? Because in life is all about moving forward. And when we move forward or we try to move forward, there are barriers. Some of those barriers are natural barriers. Some of those barriers are man-made barriers. Some of those barriers are even made by the persons that want to move forward. There are some barriers in life that you as a person, you just say, oh, it's just like you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to go to school. You don't look at the weather, oh, the weather is dull. I cannot go under this rain to school. Meanwhile, in our younger days, we used to call what they call Inwa, this cocoyam leaf. We used to cut cocoyam leaf and shield ourselves and run to church. Some people in those days will remove their uniform and put it in a nylon bag and wear something else. And when you go to school, you change yourself. These are people who know the import of going to school and getting educated. No matter what, it's raining, it's shining, they make sure they find themselves in school. But people are there who do not want, when they have any slight excuse, Or go these days to some lectures. A lecturer just comes and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I will not be able to take my lecture. Let's postpone." You see them screaming, enjoying. They are happy. That is a sign of laziness, and that is a sign of they are not ready to move forward. A serious student will frown that yes, he spent his time to go for lectures, and the lecturer was not available to teach. That is a serious student for you. So I will tell young children, young people, please, please, please eschew laziness. Let laziness not be mentioned, because even the Bible says it. The man who is lazy should not eat. So laziness should not be there. And then two, those things you think are barriers, think about them. You can take them off. Barriers are not permanent. The barriers are not saying that you cannot achieve it. Barriers only tell you that look, you have to think more to be able to overcome. So because a lot of us where we are today, if we looked at the barriers that we had, we probably wouldn't be where we are today. But we did not see them that way. Thank you.
Whew. So this part is fun and relatable. I would
Okay.
basically give you two options and you pick from one of them.
Okay.
So let's just do a quick fire round. No explanations, just instincts. So money or happiness?
Happiness,
Talent or hard work?
talent,
Education or experience?
education,
Success or peace of mind?
success.
Okay. That was nice. So to round it up, what is one belief that
Yeah.
you had, just one belief that you had while growing up that has completely changed and turned out wrong? Just one.
Okay. I've really scanned my brain within the short time you posed the question to me, and then where my brain landed is a little bit funny. A little bit funny. As a person, I had one thing that was uppermost in my heart because I wasn't a man of reasonable height as a man. So I told myself I can never marry a woman whom I am taller than. And then my perception about beauty or my perception about a life partner was a kind of glowing, towering figure that fine lady and all of those things. But it turned out that God proved me wrong, that beauty is beyond that. I happen to have married somebody who did not fit into that description, the way I looked at it, but now turns out to be more beautiful than I ever expected because this is somebody I've married now. I think 2005, December this year will make me 20 years in marriage. Yeah. So my belief was that yes, to marry a woman, we will have to be somebody who is like this, like this, like this. It happened that inner beauty is more than the beauty you see on the outward. Yeah. So I was wrong when I was growing up. But
Okay.
today I know better. And I thank God that though my perception was wrong, God did not let me to follow that wrong perception to
Yes.
land in the wrong place. God actually ordered my steps to where I am today, where I found peace, found joy, I found happiness, and I found prosperity, with the woman I've come to marry.
Mm. Thank you so much for this wonderful conversation. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And this was a lovely conversation. I am living here with so much value. My perspective for a lot of things will definitely change after now. So, to just sum this up, if you were to leave just one sentence, just one single sentence for the next generation, what would that sentence be?
Life came from God. God is the author of life. You cannot live life disregarding God. Put God out of your life and you're doomed. For every young person, I'll tell you, whatever you do, try and put God in your equation. without which you are doomed.
Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in forthcoming episodes
It's
in
actually
this
my
channel.
pleasure.
Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
Thank you so much. God
Thank you
bless you.
so much, guys, for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye.